Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. I know that it's been a minute since I last posted, so thank you so much everyone for being here. And we were just on the live there. We were having a conversation about the whole reality of how things are changing and how things are kind of getting more, I suppose, unreal than real these days. And so I thought I'd do a quick video on the idea of embracing our imperfection. So what I mean by this is that when we're manifesting, I know that a lot of the time we can think that our thoughts have to be perfect. We can think that our actions have to be perfect. Our goals and everything that we are doing every day has to be perfect. But a lot of the time that's, it's not how things actually unfold. And this is important to understand anytime that we're creating anything different, because we can get so hung up on the idea that our thoughts have to be perfect for this manifestation to come in, or the actions that we are taking have to be perfect in order for me to create this goal or this outcome. And it doesn't always have to be like that. So first of all, when we're creating anything, it's to understand that manifestation is coming from us. It's not something that we do, it's something that we are. So we build up ourselves in the way that we are, whatever it is that we're manifesting, we build it up within ourselves. We become it, and then it's kind of inevitably outside of us. So how we become it is through the affirmations, the affirmations that we tell ourselves, the thoughts that we are thinking. And the way that we operate throughout the day will be a byproduct from the thoughts that we are thinking and from the affirmations that we are telling ourselves. So this is basically how we are manifesting on a daily basis, which we've always been doing throughout our life. So when something undesirable comes in our life, let's say we've had traumas, we've had experiences that came into our life, it wasn't so much that this was the reason why we are in this circumstance. The reason why we end up in the circumstances then is how we respond to it. So for instance, if we are somebody who's creating a new relationship, or you're manifesting a money, or you're manifesting things in your life that you've never experienced before because you've had this kind of pattern of undesirable experiences. The undesirable experiences is not why we haven't experienced them. It's the actual way that we have responded to them. So this means that all of that imperfection and everything that has happened before is okay. And it's okay to be okay with what happened in the past. Actually, to be okay with what happened in the past is the best way to actually have an awareness that you're not going down that road anymore. So you're kind of acknowledging it, and you're saying to yourself, okay, that may have been the way that it was, but it's not the way that it's going to be from going forward. And I want to talk about as well, if we decide this, for instance, and we're doing our affirmations and everything is going great, and let's say, for instance, we start to get into a new relationship and everything is going great and we've manifested it. And then maybe the exact same thing happens again, for instance, and we think to ourselves, okay, but I have been doing all these affirmations, I've been changing myself and all of this kind of thing. Why is all of this, like, how come this has happened again? It's not that you are not manifesting right. It's about your response in the way that it has come about. So your response will be totally different to the way that it was before because you're more aware now. So I'm not saying that this is, I just want to make an example of if something actually undesirable happens when you're doing all the work, because sometimes it doesn't. That's why I want to bring in this idea of not having to be perfect, because things don't always have to be perfect in order to create what it is that you want. So with that happens, when you're doing all of the work, it's your response that will matter the most. So you can be upset and you can cry and you can have all of this kind of negative emotion and all of this kind of thoughts, and you can still manifest what you want. But when you actually say to yourself, okay, and you choose yourself and you say, this is not happening again, I'm not allowing it to happen, then you actually create a different dynamic. And that is how we create the manifestation. It's not that we're going to, sit down and continue to say affirmations and everything works out. Yes, it does happen that way. That can happen. But there's also a time when, there will be maybe trials that we'll have to kind of say to ourselves, okay, well, I am the co-creator here. I could change this around. I am the one that has the power to do this. And so I'm going to actually come into myself now, know that things don't have to be perfect, but I can embrace the imperfection and I can overcome whatever is in front of me and I can create a different reality, if that makes sense. So affirmations are what we use in order to have better thoughts, better actions, and also as well when we want to create different routines and goals and everything in our life. But we also want to come into the idea of embracing ourselves and embracing our authenticity as well too, because a lot of the time everything up on the internet and everything is not real, because and it's getting even more so as we were just discussing in the live about editing videos and that, I don't really edit my videos, and I know that it can be probably annoying, and I know that people probably maybe don't like the videos and all of that kind of thing. But once you start editing everything, it starts to become not real. You miss out on all of the little imperfections of the voice. You miss out on the imperfections of how you're speaking, how you're delivering your speech, all of these little kind of pauses in between, and all of that kind of thing make things actually real. Now, I know to a certain extent, obviously you have to have a better way of speaking in order to deliver a speech as well too, and not to have too many pauses. But at the same time, you do want to be connected and you want to have a chat in a way that is authentic and real. So coming on and editing everything is going to be kind of, I suppose, in an AI way, and you're not going to get that kind of humanness, I suppose you could say. And so when we start to look at everything, our manifestations, even our life as well too, and the way that we show up, and we think that everything has to be micromanaged and everything has to be perfect, we're losing sight of our humanness, and we're not getting into that kind of connection of who we truly are. And I know that it can be difficult if we are somebody who is creating a different manifestation than we've ever created before, and something undesirable happens and we feel like we're back to square one. But remember, you're never, ever, ever back to square one once you have started. So if you have started and you are a lot further on in your whatever it is that you're creating in your life than you ever have been before, because you've identified limiting beliefs, you are working on nervous system regulation, maybe you're taking care of yourself better, you are looking after your surroundings and your environment, everything that you are doing for yourself is going to start to kind of overflow from you, and that is how it gets reflected back to you. So it is like a mirror in a sense, because as I say, manifestation is coming from you. It's not something that you do, it's something that you are. And so if it's something that you are, then it is something that you are becoming more and more of every day and connecting more and more of every day too as well. So I just wanted to do a quick video on that. And I know that for anyone who missed the lives are on Mondays and Fridays at 12 p.m. GMT. And we just come on and have a little chat about where we are and what it is that we are creating, our personal development, or affirmations, or identifying limiting beliefs, all of this kind of thing that we talk about in order for us to operate more healthily throughout our daily existence as well. So with that being said, I leave that video there and I will chat to you soon.